going to be analyzing. Good. All right. So here's my example. Are you ready?
Yep.
How we're going to analyze text is we're going to use something called close reading. Say close reading.
Close reading.
Now there is a few different.
Kayla is committed to getting to know every single one of her students and what really drives them as a learner and as a little human being. Going into her classroom, when I go in to observe, I get lost in her lesson and just want to jump on the carpet and be a third grader with everybody else.
She's got such a natural growth mindset and she's so driven. So she's seeking out that feedback, and I realize right away it's not just because she wants to be a good teacher or she wants to be better, it's for her kids. Everything she does is for her kids. When you listen to her talk with her children or about her students, you'd think every year is her favorite year and every group is her favorite group. She just has such a real connection with them.
Because of her work ethic and because of her love of kids, she's become what I consider to be a master teacher.
It was kind of one of those situations where I knew I wanted to be a teacher since I started school as like as a preschooler. I would line up all my little stuffed animals on my bed, and that's just, I would play school, and I remember my first grade teacher would give me all her extra copies and I would take those home and play school.
They're constantly in different parts of the room. They're in small groups, they're in partners. There's something new going on every day in that classroom. And every year she sort of broaches like it's her first year and she needs to just nail it for those kids.
She's big on giving ownership of learning to her kids. Kids learn in her classroom because they know she loves them.
And in my own education, I had some really good examples. But as I got older, I just realized that I was super passionate about kids. And I just loved being with kids and spending time with kids and teaching them things, but more so growing good people. And just those relationships are huge for me, and I think that's what kind of drives my why I continue to want to be a teacher too.
From September to January, most of her kids have accomplished what they're supposed to accomplish from September to May.
I love looking at what my kids need, and if I do anything I can to offer that to them.
She just always has something that makes it so fun and real life with them that they're just so excited to walk into her classroom and like, what are we going to learn today? Who are we going to become today? Where are we going to go when we're reading?
If you make things more interesting, then that's how it is fun and not boring. We get to do these stuff, but it's also learning and having fun during school.
She did book taste testing. She had the table set up kind of like a little restaurant, and she had an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. And so the appetizer was a different genre than you are used to reading. And then on their main course, it was something at their level to give them what they need, what would help them grow. And then as the dessert, just something that you enjoy to read. That was really neat because that introduced my daughter to some nonfiction books, which kind of sounds boring. And she realized, that it's kind of interesting. He'd rather not talk about school stuff, but now, he identifies things, that's personification. I'm like, oh, yes, that's an onomatopoeia. So he comes home and says things like that. And I can tell that he's not only learning, but I just really appreciate the way that Mrs. Campbell makes it fun and makes it interesting to learn.
Yeah. All right, thanks for sharing all about your spring breaks. Remember, if you have a question for somebody, if for me about their spring break, you can ask.
Essentially what they noticed was it was data driven. They saw some gaps in their students' ability with summarizing and main idea and detail, some really important things. And they took that and said, we've got to spice it up. What we're doing isn't working. So the kids all became spies. They had ID cards, they had spy glasses and hats and this whole thing just to sort of pump them up and reignite their interest in at the task at hand.
We were learning about mystery books and how the comparing and contrasting and different problems. We got to have a plastic hat, glasses, and an agent, agent thing badge, and then we got to have a mustache.
Our room transformed for an hour every day into their spy lab. And whatever skill they were working on, we kind of talked about as a detective, you're adding tools to your tool belt to help you solve the case. And so they each got their own mystery mentor text that they worked through the whole two weeks. And at the end, they had to use a lot of those skills like inferring and synthesizing all that stuff to write their case file basically as a summary, but they had to have like text evidence and all that stuff. And I took them home over spring break. I was reading through them and they were super awesome. And I think a big piece of that is just the like engagement. Like they were into it. I really didn't have to reel them in every day or work for it. They were just excited.
The things she does that you learn at university about how to teach, all those things contribute. But the thing that motivates her kids is her love of learning and her love of teaching and her love of kids.